Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga. I've been traveling, as many of you know, and I'm back in my home base. So it's nice to have my familiar surroundings to, broadcast my yoga class with you today. Um, a familiar theme I'm going to revisit today, and that is that of letting go. The part of that that I just seem to be really zeroing in on is the part that says letting go of that which no longer serves us. So, that just kind of is a particular way of looking at this surrender of, the things that we might have done, believed, practiced for a while, and finding that it no longer serves us at that, and that is just what life often, if not always, brings to us, and that is this invitation to change, to open, to keep looking, keep discovering, things that ways of being that serve you better in terms of how you want to show up in life, about how you feel, about you know um, interesting things that are interesting and fun, and that give you vitality, that we just, if we're not willing to change and surrender some of our old patterns, we may never do that. So letting go is this idea of surrender, but letting go of that which no longer serves, and doing that without judgment, so that we're not criticizing ourselves that we were on a wrong path, or we had it all wrong, and getting that kind of language going, but just that no, we are evolving, and we see things differently as our life changes, and our life always changes. That's a given. So let's just kind of keep that in mind, and that's going to be an individual process, obviously, of identifying within yourself what might apply to that. I just jotted down some postural things. I mean, things like, physical, like postural patterns, that you might want to be changing, maybe a habit of tightening the jaw, and patterns of thought. That's probably the thing I'm probably focused on for myself, is patterns of thought. What I've come to learn as habit energy, that there's this habitual thought process for myself, and I think others can probably identify with that this habit energy can be lovingly uh, looked at. I'm trying to think of a better way to say that, but to look at those patterns of thought that doesn't serve you. Mostly criticism, self-judgment. We all have that. So just an idea of the theme for today, and this is my practice, my personal way of approaching that has always been this. So how do we change this stuff? How do we change our life? And the answer is, to change your thoughts. Well, how do we change our thoughts? That's not that easy either. To change your thoughts in the yogic tradition starts by changing your breath. Changing your breath, becoming aware of your breath is maybe all you need to do. You start by becoming aware of your breath, and then this gives you a new perspective. Secondly, you might say deepening the breath. So you try to manipulate it a little bit so that it's a deeper, fuller breath. And then finally, if that thought process is just really hanging on, a radical change of breathing. So one of those breath practices that I've taught you that are just a very different and kind of energetic, and totally requires all of your focus to breathe in a particular way. So changing your thoughts by way of your breath. That's our way of letting go of that which no longer serves us. So I'm going to approach it that way today. So everyone, let's just come forward on your chair enough that you can sit up nice and tall, and you're not using the backrest. You're feeling your feet to the earth. If you're using a block, I want you to place the block to guide your legs. So wherever it is you find that to be useful, whether that be between your thighs, or between your shins, or maybe between your ankles where the block is lying on the floor. And then use that to just bring yourself into this energy awareness of the center, of the midline. So you're just drawing your awareness in to the midline energy. And then begin to just notice your breath as it is. And eyes closed so that you can bring your energy inward. That's kind of a real quick way. We've probably always recognized it, but I'm just putting some words to it today, that when we close our eyes, we bring our energy in. It's not scattered all around us, but our energy now is within. So letting go of that which no longer serves me. And if nothing comes to mind, if for you you're thinking, I'm not sure what she's talking about, or I can't really identify anything right now, no problem. Just be with your breath. Sit tall, stronger, more purposeful than ever. Soften your jaw, relax your tongue. And I want you to bring your awareness to the breath in the following way. I'm drawing from the Vishoka meditation tradition. And that is that you're allowing your breath awareness to be in the nostril. So you're really noticing your breath as it's moving in and out of your nose. And imagine that you're drawing the breath in toward the very center of your head, right behind your eyes, in the center of your head. That's where you're drawing your inhale into that. Often it's considered the third eye, but it's back there. It's not the forehead, it's back into the head. So you'll start to notice that as you inhale. Excuse me. And then when you're ready, exhaling, so bringing our awareness not only to that position on the inhale, but then the exhale goes out the nose to the point of stillness out in front of you. So it's like I'm going to ask you to open your eyes real quick. So it's like if you could just almost feel your breath coming out, out into the air right in front of you. And then you're noticing that that's the path of the breath. Inhaling into the center of the head, eyes are closed again. And exhaling out to that still point. So let the breath be a nostril breath. And if you can find those two reference points, excellent. But don't give it a lot of thought or worry. Just let it be a nostril breath in and out. Relax your shoulders. Again, soften your jaw. Let's turn our hands open, so palms are open on our laps. And today, rather than this receptivity mudra, it's a very versatile position with our hands. Today, it is one of letting go. Hands are open as a gesture of surrender. And we bring our focus to our nostril breathing in, up to the center of the head, exhaling out the nose to the still point. Use this time now to set your particular intention. This class is for you. When you're doing your yoga practice, it is for you. It is about you. So you are inquiring within, what do I need? What do I need from my yoga today? And then say to yourself, and so it is. Stay with that breath. And I'm going to add this prayer that I often do. May what needs to be said is said. What needs to be heard is heard. What needs to be released is released. And that which may be embraced is embraced. Let's flutter the eyes open. And we're going to begin with a lot of movement of the spine. So I want you to right away get your arms away from your lap, get your arms alongside the chair's frame, and let's move into the cat and cow movement of the spine. So I want you to arch your back body, pull your hands and arms back, feel the arch of the back and the extension of your spine. Stay with that for a breath in and out, really arching through, shoulder blades draw toward each other. Feel your feet to the earth, sense of grounding to support you. On your next exhale, start to round through the back body and let your arms either float away from you or just let them drag right on in through your lap. Stay with that C-shaped curve of the spine. Chin is dropping in towards your chest and you're feeling the roundness of your back body. We're going to do this as a vinyasa. So we inhale back up to the extension of the spine and we exhale as we round the back body into the C-shaped curve. So stay with your own rhythm of movement because you're following your own breath. You don't need to keep up with me. I want you to try to use the screen as little as possible so that you're really aware of what's happening right there in the space that you occupy. That's your yoga practice right there. Start to notice how your body changes as you move through this vinyasa of the cat and the cow. Not only is the spine in movement, but also the belly changes, the belly tone changes. You notice how your head has to change from up to down. So you're managing the weight of your head, so you're not causing any strain through the neck. And you're keeping your legs in alignment with your pelvis. Just find, a real nice stable base of the lower body. Stay with me. A few more, rounding through into your C-shaped curve on the exhale and inhaling with the extension of the spine. Let's come to a neutral position, our mountain pose. We're just going to turn our hands to face forward. That'll help your shoulder blades to stay onto the back body. And then make sure your head feels neutral so that the chin is like parallel to the floor. So your head is just neutral. You're not trying to lift up your chin or extend the cervical spine in any way. And find the grounding starting at the soles of the feet and move your breath all the way through the length of your body now in this seated mountain position. Inhale through the front side of your body. Exhale through the back side of the body. So it's like you're drawing your breath from the soles of the feet up through the shins, up through the tops of your thighs, the belly and the chest area, up through the face into the very crown of your head, and then you exhale all the way down the back of your head, the back of your spine, down into the thighs, hips, buttocks, and down through to the feet. So we're circling our body with this breath. I want you to push your feet into the ground so you feel the engagement of your leg muscles. Pull the belly in. Remember, if you're ever wondering if I'm supposed to have my belly engaged, the answer is most always yes. Yes. Turn on the abdominal wall. So circle your body with breath, eyes open or closed, your choice. Feel the length of that inhale and the length of that exhale to get it all the way around your body in a circle. On your next exhale completely, let's sync up our breath as we bring the palms up and overhead, inhaling with me here. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up and exhale into a T shape with your arms. So rotate your arms so the thumb is pointing behind you and you're opening up your hands wide. Remember, this stretching of the palm is going to open the fascial layer that is really governing a lot of the musculature of the body. And as you know, right now we're into the arms. So by stretching our palms open, we start to loosen up throughout the length of our arms. Pull the belly in, get those shoulder blades back and down. And then flip your hands so palms face forward. We're going to try a diagonal line. Make sure your arms are in a single plane, and you're going to have to look at that. They won't just land there. So make sure your arms are in a single plane. Look up, stretching your neck. We're just simply looking up to the hand that's reaching up, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can, but any way that serves you well. Bring your head back to neutral. We're just going to flip that diagonal line. Again, take a look to make sure your arms are in a single plane. And now we're looking up again, but we're on the other side. And I want you to bring your awareness into how your neck feels about that. Exhale completely. Bring your head back to neutral. Palms come together overhead. We'll take our inhale. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up, flip your hands to face forward. Stretch forward, forward now into a forward fold. All the way down, all the way down. See if you can get your armpits to lay over your kneecaps. You might need to move your feet away from the block. Keep your ankles in line with your knees. Surrender the weight of your head. So it's the crown of the head that's drawing down toward the floor. It's not your face. It's the crown of the head, top of the head. And you're looking under the chair. Keep your eyes open. It'll help you keep your bearings. Deeply breathe here. Another shift in our breathing pattern, because now we're folded. We folded our body, so it's all about belly breathing, isn't it? You can feel your breath almost entirely in your belly. I want you to exaggerate that. Big belly breathing. Let that breath flow in and out of your nose, your mouth, a combination. The idea here is to focus on big belly breath. Let's jump our hands to our thighs and squeeze your elbows into your waist and come up about halfway. So your back body is now in a diagonal line. Back of the head, neck, and spine. Pull your chin in towards your throat and push your feet to the ground. We're going to really press our hands into our thighs. And I want you to act like you're lifting your bottom right up off that chair. You're lifting the perineum, the floor of the pelvis, off the chair. I'm just going to suggest you just do it now and then. So you're going to hold this posture. You lift it up, you release it. So you don't need to follow my particular guidelines, but here we are together, lifting up through the perineum and letting our breath support that. And you're going to really feel it that you're engaging your legs. Your legs are really engaging, and then you release them. And then you go back to pushing your feet into the floor so your legs are very engaged, so that you have this image of lifting your pelvic floor up and away from that chair. A couple more times, stay with it. Maybe you focus your eyes on a particular place, finding that drishti so you can really keep your focus entirely on what you're doing. You're not distracted in any way. One more time, lifting up. And then as you come back to a neutral position, we'll bring our spine to a neutral position as well. We're going to shrug and release. Shrug and release. Let's tie that to the breath. Inhale is shrugging. Exhaling is releasing those shoulders. So find the breath pattern that matches that. Inhale, a shrug and a hold. It's a squeeze. And then finally you exhale it all the way out. So again, don't try to match up with me. You might, not have a very, very different breath pattern. I want you to find yours. Squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. The inhale is the squeeze. The exhale is the release. Good. Inhale with me, palms come together up and overhead. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up, turn your hands to face forward. We're going to just keep the spine neutral now. We're moving through the shoulder joints, lifting up, really straight arms. The arms stay close to the body. And lift up as far as you can and push back on the lower side, push back as far as you can. So lifting up and stretching down. Inhale up and exhale down. But you'll notice it in your shoulders You can't help but notice it in your back body, because when your arms are in motion like this, you're stretching some of those back muscles, no doubt. Try to keep your feet connected to the ground, and maybe you're still using your block to keep your leg muscles engaged toward that midline energy source. Don't forget, we need a full inhale and a full exhale. Next time you're up, you got your hands up in the air, let's turn the palms to face each other. Look up this time. See if you can lift your face to look up to your hands. We're just going to hold that, gently pressing the palms together, lifting our face to look up at our pressed palms, inhaling and exhaling. And if your neck is not agreeable to that, just move yourself, put your head into a position that is very helpful for your neck. Good. And then let's all bring those hands into the heart center, and we'll pause here now as we drop our chin toward that chest bone. See if you can find a little stretch through the back of your neck. So if you lift your chest up, keep your spine very long, let your chin tilt down. You're going to find a little stretch there. Let's deepen the stretch by interlacing our fingers and just letting our interlaced hands just rest at the very base of the skull, right at the very curve of the occipital ridge there. Draw your elbows in toward each other. Spine is still long, and you're just allowing now the weight of your hands and arms to give your head a little more weight, a little more stretch through the back of the neck, and maybe, if you're lucky, you've relaxed into the stretch enough that you can feel it all the way down through the trapezius muscle. Huge cape of a muscle into the back. Let's release our hands. Bring your hands to your lap. Keep your head down. Take a pause. Very slowly now lift your head into its neutral position. We're going to squeeze those shoulders and release. Squeeze and hold. Release. Find that breath pattern. Inhale is the squeeze. Exhale is the release. A little more neck work before we get going here. I want you to just turn your head from one side to the other. Just checking the range of movement. Now keep your chin parallel. It's really important. Keep your chin parallel to the floor so it's a neutral head. We have a habit, I'll say I do, I've identified it for sure, that I tilt. I'll tilt my head one way or another, down, up. So finding this neutral head has been a really important awareness for me. So I'm sharing that. Keep your head neutral as you explore your range of movement, as you just turn to the very end of your range. You're not trying to just look over there like, okay, yeah, whatever. I want you to really turn to find your whole range of movement on each side, because we're trying to kind of push into that, go right up to that range, that limit, and see if we can kind of breathe our way into a little more expansiveness. Stay with the side that seems to need your attention more. Let's give that some more loving awareness. Just stay with it. Breathe, keep edging your way closer to that range of movement. See if you can explore a little bit more. And when you're ready, let's come back to a neutral position. We're going to do some shoulder rolls. Just lift those shoulders up, back, and down. Hands are just laying on the lap. Elbows are close into the body. Get a very exaggerated movement with your shoulders. Let's change the direction of the shoulder rolls. So now you're spreading your shoulder blades apart from one another. Try to keep your hands on your lap. Just kind of gives you some governance of your arms so that your shoulders have to work in a particular way. Good. And come back to a neutral position. Let's put the block underneath us and take a wide stance with our feet. So open up so your heels are in and your toes are pointing out. We're going to circle the body in that Sufi roll. Keep your head, neck, and spine in alignment. So your upper body is moving as a single unit. You don't feel any, individual movement of the head, shoulders. It just feels like a single movement along the spine, like the spine is this stir stick throughout the pelvic bowl. And I want you to go as wide and as deep as you can. You're trying to make a big old circle here. And then notice in your body how that feels, where your body starts to shift body weight, of course. You know, that you feel it through the pelvis into the butt cheeks. You can feel how your body is shifting, the body weight is shifting. Keep your hands on your lap and your elbows tucked in towards your waist. When you're in the center again, you're in the center forward here, we're going to take another forward fold. So I want you to just slide your hands down your legs perhaps and let yourself glide yourself down, down, down into a fold. Get your hands to the floor or to your feet and look down and underneath yourself with this wide angle between our legs. Arms should be on the inside of your legs. And maybe you're just noticing how there's maybe some interaction, that you kind of squeeze your legs into your arms and your arms kind of push back. So you feel a little bit of dynamic tension there. Deepen the breath, soften the mouth. Feel the fold, feel the belly breath. Exhale completely. On your inhale, jump your hands to your thighs, squeeze those elbows in, bring yourself up, bring yourself up, bring yourself up to an upright position. Take a pause here. Whenever you do a forward fold, a fold of any kind that's inverts your body, then you want to be careful to allow your body to adjust. Let's change the direction of the circular movement. So I know I was going clockwise, I'm going to go counterclockwise now. And if you can't remember what you did, try just going counterclockwise, because most people start, for some reason, we start in a clockwise movement. Again, noticing your body weight shifting throughout the pelvic bowl, throughout how you can feel it in your butt cheeks and you can feel it through the thighs. And the next time you're in that forward movement, just come about halfway down, squeeze your elbows in, neck, head, spine in alignment. See what kind of angle you can bring. I'm going to give you a side view. You're going to see about what feels good to you. Maybe it's very deep. Maybe it's not so deep. It's a diagonal line of your choice. And then let your hands come away from your lap. So now you've got your wings spread, and push your feet to the floor. Push and see if you can get a lift of the pelvic floor again. Push your feet to the floor. You feel the activity of all the leg muscles so that you can feel your pelvis lift up off of that chair ever so slightly. And you're going to just work with that, inhaling and lifting and exhaling and relaxing, or whatever serves you, how it seems to be the most accessible for you to work into the pelvic bowl. And you're doing this without the use of your arms. You're doing this entirely with the strength of your legs and the tone of your belly. One more. And then soften. And as you soften, you bring yourself up, palms come together, up and overhead. Inhale with me here. Exhale, heart. Inhale up. And exhale, go all the way around. Let's get a hold of the chair now. And we're going to just step one foot to meet the other. So just take your foot over. So you get that pattern. Got it? And then you might have to move a little closer to the front of the chair. You just decide what gives you the best, access to that. Because now we're going to add a little more of a circular movement. I want you to lift that leg up, and it's like you're circling the leg. Just circle that leg up and over. Circle it. Hold on to the chair, and you're going to move through the upper body. There's no doubt. So don't be rigid about it. And use a stronger breath wherever it shows up. But you're paying attention to the breathing so that you have this really heightened awareness of what you're doing. Last time, when you bring it over, let's hold it there. So both our legs are together, our ankles, we've got our legs squeezed together like a mermaid leg. Inhale now, just hands reaching up. Exhale, we're twisting. So you're turning away from the way your knees are going. I want you to turn away from your knees and go the other way, and that's your twist. Now keep working it so that you keep your spine in a vertical position. This would be a real easy way to just sort of leaning away from center. See if you can bring yourself back to center, vertical spine. The boy, is helpful to use the chair. Use your body parts. Maybe you've got your hand on your outside of your thigh and you're just really using your body parts to deepen your twist as you squeeze those thighs together and you feel the soles of your the soles of your feet connected to the earth. Remember to exhale completely. That'll keep you in a nice deep rhythm. You might notice that you're kind of panting, that the breath got real short into the chest. So just exhale completely. That'll get you back to a deeper rhythm. Let's unwind the head and the arms. Take that wide stance. Both legs are out. Maybe you reset the body here. Anything you might need to do. We're going to grab hold of the chair. We'll get the other side going. So start with just stepping over, kind of pattern the body, making sure you're positioned well in your seat. And you know where we're headed. We're going to start circling that leg. We're going to lift it up and circle it around. And we're going to breathe in a way that supports that big movement. So don't worry that you feel like you're kind of leaning back. You're going to need to do that a little bit to balance. Keep your spine as vertical as you can manage. But we're moving through the hip. Our focus is on movement through the hip joint. And of course, big breaths to support it. Let's try one more and we'll come back where we've got both of the feet together, our legs are together, knees are together. Nice vertical spine. Inhale up and exhale. Let your arms drape to the other side now. So knees are going one way and you're twisting your upper body the other way, away from your knees. Keep the spine vertical, kind of keep working it. So, you start to notice that you're pulling off to the side or something. You just start looking at yourself and trying to get yourself centered and all kind of affixed to that midline energy source. It doesn't have to be that you just land in something and then you're stuck with it. You're creating it all the time, moving, adjusting, breathing, feeling, softening. Now deepen your breath. Be sure you exhale it all the way out. Notice your neck. Just notice your neck. How's it feeling? Let's unwind the head and let's get those arms to come up as we just take a big step out. Inhale with me here. Exhale down alongside your chair. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Palms come together overhead. Let's inhale together. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Let your chin drop. Inhale back up and exhale, go all the way around. Let's start just lifting those legs up and then bringing them in like you're taking steps from wide to narrow. Lifting, 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 big old giant steps. When you come back to center where your legs are together, let's extend the left leg out, kick it out with a straight leg and bring it back to a bent knee. Stay with that same leg. Just kick it out and back. Straight leg out and back to the floor with your foot. Let's get the arms going. Inhale those arms up. So when you kick, you've got the arms moving to touch through the shin or touch the toe. Couple more. Big strong arms, real straight. Hold it with your leg kicked out and your hands are on your leg. Hold it, stretch through the toes, try to spread your toes apart. We're going to hug that knee into the chest and bring the foot to the floor and take a reset now. So we're going to start with the other side now. We just extend it out and bringing foot back to the floor. So extend it, stretch it out, bending the knee, and then bringing it back down. Stretch it through. Just warm up and pattern the body. And we'll get the arms involved, extend your arms up. And then when you kick out, you can touch. Deepen the breath. Let's hold it. Kick out with a long, strong leg. Get a hold of your leg, perhaps. Let's spread the toes. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll hug that knee into the chest, and we'll release both feet to the floor, and we're going to shake that out. I want you to circle your head, drop your chin to your chest, and start circling your head mindfully. As a way of releasing any tension that might have gathered in your neck and the shoulder area. Deepen the breath here too. And then change the direction of your circular movement. When you come back to a neutral position, shrug and release, shrug and release, shrug and release. Let's boot ourselves out of the chair. So I want you to practice that, just bringing yourself up and down from the chair. So you're practicing your balance, you're practicing utilizing your core strength and your confidence in your body. And we'll meet standing up in our mountain position. So I want you to be close enough to your chair that you can feel it behind you like a little safety net, that you know it's there. So you feel the confidence that that might bring. Hey, let's bring our block to the picture again. Bring your block in so it's between your ankles. So again, we're using that to really align our mountain pose, our standing mountain pose properly. I want you to squeeze into the block so you can feel the engagement of your feet and ankles. It takes that, your shins, you're going to feel your legs differently by using that block. Turn your hands to face forward. And again, position your head in such a way that it's neutral. The chin is in parallel position to the floor. Let's pull that belly in. And by pulling in the belly, you'll soften the lumbar curve just a bit, so that you can feel like you're rooted through the tailbone as well as through each of your feet. There's a rooting that happens through the tailbone. So it's like you've got a root now, a root system that's connected directly to the spine. Feel your toes, feel the surface of your feet, and find a sweet spot, not your pattern. You know, a lot of us roll our feet in one way or another where we're kind of hanging out in the outside ankles or something like that. I want you to not stick with your particular pattern as much as you are aware of what's best for the support of your strong body. Let the block guide you. If you're going to squeeze your ankles into the block, it's going to help you position your feet well. Inhale with me, palms come together overhead. Exhale, we bow into our heart. Inhale up, palms are facing forward. We're going to just fold forward, fold forward, fold forward, all the way down. A lot of times those knees will be bending as we're folding forward, no problem. Keep your eyes wide open, look down and underneath the chair. The crown of your head is reaching toward the floor. Let's jump our hands to our shins so we're below the kneecap. And we're lifting up about halfway. We create almost an L shape with our body. It's a good chance to straighten out the legs. You don't have to bend your knees so much here because your body is not giving so much pressure into those hamstrings. You know, you've divided the weight. Jump over your knees and get your hands way up onto your thighs. Push into those thighs. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waist. Tuck your chin in towards your throat. Feel the block. Find your breath. The right hand is going to slip away and reach out in front of you, way over past your head, reaching out. Thumb is pointing toward the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's bring that hand back to the thighs. Take a moment. And then we're going to try the other arm. Reaching out, thumb points up. Let that arm go right past your ear. Your gaze is at the floor in front of you. You're not looking at the screen. You don't need to. Both hands are on the thighs again. We're going to come all the way up, all the way up, all the way up to our standing mountain pose. Palms face forward. We're in our standing mountain. Let's deepen the breath. Let's put the block to the side now, move it away, and we're going to position our chair in such a way that we got the back of the chair available to us as a source of support. Standing next to it, standing leg is next to the chair. We're going to just start with some leg swings, lifting that leg, straight leg up, and a bent knee comes back. But it's a swing of the leg. So the way I've commented on the fact that the straight leg and bent knee is really not, is kind of incidental. It's the swinging of the leg, but I just wanted you to be aware that it's not like you're trying to have a straight leg coming back. It just really doesn't work that way. Notice the standing leg now. The standing leg has got a big role to fill, even though it feels like everything about this is that swinging leg. So just notice the standing leg as well. Good, let's come back and just bend the knee. Can you get a hold of your foot? Sometimes you can get a hold of your pants, and that's one way to do it. So if you can get a hold of your foot or your pant leg, something like that, let's pull that foot back and back. Keep your gaze straight forward. This is working the psoas muscle. That's a big hip flexor. And then let's hold it as we're pulling away. Trying to pull our heel away from the body a little bit. And then release, put both feet to the floor. Let's shake that out. Shake it out all over. And then reposition. So your standing leg, I just turned around. So my new standing leg is near the chair. I can use the chair for support. And we're flexing and extending. So it's that swinging leg. The outside leg is swinging. It's like you want to find a track. You want that leg to stay on a particular track. It's not wild here. It's following a very specific track forward and back. Keep your spine long and your head kind of stationary. Find your breath. Both feet to the floor. We're going for that bent knee, grabbing hold of the foot or your pant leg. And then you're going to just pull back. Keep your spine long and just practice pulling back and then releasing from that. The foot pulls away from the body, back behind you, and it's going to really work on softening, tenderizing your psoas muscle. Let's hold it in that extended position, pulling back. Find a deeper breath. Real strong. Standing leg is supporting you. Notice. Then we're going to release it all. Bring both feet to the floor, and I want you to shake. Let's do a little tapping, a little energy work. I was going to start with a tap, tap, tap on the head. I've just got fingertips, just at fingertips, right on the crown of the head. You can be moving around. You don't need to stand like a soldier here. Go to the forehead or third eye. Temples. Under the eye, feels like your cheekbones. Under your nose, one hand will do it. Under your chin, right on your chin, below your mouth. Both hands now, again, we're on our collarbone, just throughout the collarbone. Tap, 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 fingertips. And then cross over so you can pat yourself with your hands all like under your armpits, all around there. Let's deepen the breath. We're going to do it one more round. Tap, 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 top of the head. Letting go of things that no longer serves us. This is a way to do that, is getting the energy body involved. We're shaking through some of the, tapping our way through some of the meridians of the body. Forehead, temple, under the eyes, on the cheekbones, still have both hands involved. One hand now under the nose, right on top of the lip, on the chin, below the mouth. Both hands now tap, tap, tap along your collarbone. And then more flat hands now, patting underneath the armpits and all into the sides. Inhale up, palms come together overhead, look up. Exhale, bow into your own heart. Inhale up, exhale, get your hands on your legs, bend those knees, slide yourself all the way down into a forward fold. Look underneath yourself, deepen your breath. Jump your hands to your shins. You're under your knees, and you can start lifting your chest up, lifting your head up. Straightening out your legs so there doesn't have to be so much bend in the knee. Work on that. Keep your gaze at the floor. You don't need to watch. You can trust your body here. Jump your hands over your thighs, over your knees, and you're on your thighs. Squeeze your elbows in. I'll bet you could lift your chest a little bit more. So now your shoulders are about the same height as your hips. Your gaze is down. Push your hands into your thighs. Let's free up the right hand to reach out in front of us. Our arm is going to glide right past our ear. Our thumb is pointing up to the ceiling. We got one hand extended, and the other hand is supporting this pose by pushing that hand into the thigh. Deepen your breath. Feel your feet. Get some weight into your toes. Hand comes back to the thigh, so both hands are on the thigh. Take a little pause here. Catch up with your breathing in case you lost it. Other hand extends, arm is gliding by the ear, thumb is pointing up. One hand reaching out, the other one pushing into the thigh for support. Straighten the legs as best you can. Get your weight into your full foot, into the toes, into the ball of the foot. Beautiful. Hands are back on the thighs. Glide yourself down your legs, all the way down your legs, looking underneath yourself. Deepen the breath. Jump your hands to your thighs, start coming up, soften the knees, bend them, soften, and come up slowly. Take your time, then don't move. Just stand up and let your breath find its way back into your awareness, and let your body adjust. Let your blood pressure adjust from the inversions. Take your time. We're going to finish with a downward facing dog. So when you're ready, but please don't rush it, position yourself near your chair so you've got the seat of the chair available. Let's bend the knees so we can just easily get a hold of that chair. Start walking back, back, back. Keep your feet parallel to each other, no wider than your hips are. Make your hands be the same distance between them as what's between your feet. Hopefully you can feel how your arms are gliding by your ears. Pull your chin in towards your throat. See about straightening the legs as best you can. And you're feeling the diagonal line of your back. From the crown of the head to the tailbone, it's a diagonal line, strengthening, lengthening the back. Deepen the breath. And then feel it where you feel it. I'll give you cues about, where I'm trying to focus our attention, but you're feeling it where you feel it. I want you to be aware in your own body, the meaning of this, the value of this. It doesn't have to be what I said. Can you soften your knees enough that it gives you freedom of movement to sway your hips side to side? I often call this wagging your tail. So soften the knees enough that you can Move your hips side to side. And then come back to stillness, stretch it out, pull the hips and buttocks back away toward the wall behind you. And then start walking yourself toward the chair, softly coming toward the chair, round through the back body and lift yourself up, maybe one vertebrae at a time. And we find our mountain pose and we stay with that. Find a focal point, your drishti. And maybe even closing your eyes now. Just feeling your way into this balance of the mountain pose. So you're feeling your own center of gravity. It's a felt experience. You're not usually utilizing your sense of sight, which is obviously something we rely upon. I'm not trying to change that plan. I'm just trying to develop and hone our ability to use our all kinds of sensory perception here. Let's flutter the eyes open. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow into your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, bring your arms way back and interlace those hands behind you. Pull the knuckles away from you, away from your back body. I'm going to soften the knees a little bit so I can start moving. So I want you to just play it by ear. You got your hands interlaced. Your shoulder blades are really squeezing toward the middle. Let your body tell you what to do. Good, let's release. And we'll come back to our chairs now. Let's come back to a seated position. Not yet time for our Shavasana. Give me one more minute. So sit toward the front of your chair and use your mountain pose idea of how to come back into your seated position. Let's move through the spine a little bit more. So we're going to move through our cow and our cat. Maybe you'll notice as we're doing it now at the very end of our practice, how different it might feel in your body. Because you have, been breathing mindfully, really soaking your body with the oxygen, lots of circulation in the body. The joints are a little bit more loosened up, more hydrated. We found some synovial fluid activating all of that through the joints so they move more freely. Let's meet in the cow position. So we've got our arms pulling back, our chest is up. Inhale with me now, palms come together overhead. Look up, gentle touch of the hands, look up toward your hands. Breathe through the length of your spine, the length of your arms. Feel your feet to the ground. Full breath in and full breath out. When it's time to exhale, bring your hands to your heart, bow into yourself. Inhale back up and take a circular movement all the way around. Settle into your chair now, push on back, get yourself settled in for Shavasana. So if you usually move to a different location, do that. I'm going to move to a different location. So you set yourself up for Shavasana. Different camera view. Close your eyes at your earliest opportunity when you feel ready for that. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax your shoulders. Soften your hands, your feet, your belly. I'm going to invite you back to that Vishoka meditation technique. where you're breathing in through your nostrils and you're breathing in toward the center of your head, and let that exhale follow through your nostril to the still point out in front of you, in front of your face. Remember that visual. So you're breathing in and out through the nose. It's a meditation technique. So it's a way of quieting and staying very connected to your breath. When you're connected to your breath, you're connected to your wholeness, your aliveness. And by connected, I mean aware of it, appreciating it, nurturing that. Soften the mouth. Relax and let go. To change the patterns of thought and patterns in our body, we must change our thoughts. How to change the thoughts? Change the breath. Letting go of that which no longer serves me. Let it go. Let your breath be as your breath is, your natural breathing. Eyes are continue to stay closed so you can bring yourself into the body to soften and relax anything you've overlooked. Scanning your body with your loving awareness now to release and relax all throughout the body. Let the chair hold you. Give yourself to the support of that chair. The chant I'm going to use is just a spoken word. You're familiar. It's the Adi mantra. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Layer your palms across your chest bone. So it's like you're bringing your hands to your heart center. Om Namo is the bowing in to all that is, to the Creator, to life itself. Guru Dev Namo is bowing into the Guru, the teacher that life is, the teacher that resides within you. Know that this is a tool to bring your hands to your heart center, closing your eyes, can reset the mind and the body to bring you back in sync. back to this place of peace. Let's sync up our breath again now. Inhale now, arms come up and palms come together overhead. Exhale as we bow into our own heart. Inhale up and exhale as we share this peaceful energy of surrender all around our communities. Palms come to the heart space in the Anjali Mudra. We bow to ourselves, we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Thanks.